Let's start off by talking tonight's game. It's a short week. It's a tough place to play, Arrowhead Stadium. You know the whole place is going to be, there's going to be a red out there.
Oh, yeah, it's
right?
going to be amazing. Right.
Against a division rival, a lot of banged up Broncos, and the Kansas City Chiefs, you look at their injury report, they are clean. I know I'm setting the stage here for doom and gloom. Do the Broncos have a shot at winning this game tonight? A good shot?
Well, the adage has always been you make your most improvement between game 1 and game 2.
Yeah.
But you list all those factors you just listed off, and the short week is perhaps the biggest factor for making that big jump of improvement. Because really, as soon as that game was over Sunday, you really focused on the game plan for the Kansas City Chiefs, the Broncos coaching staff. You didn't have a chance to really go back and work so much on the corrections and all those kind of things that were needed after that Baltimore game. That'll happen this weekend after tonight's game. So I don't see this offense improving much other than the fact that it's more reps. Guys have worked their nerves out. Guys have been out there under some live bullets. So the individual players should feel up a little bit more comfortable. But as far as Gary Kubiak tweaking the offense and adjusting it so Peyton's more comfortable or so the running game is more productive, I don't see it happening tonight.
You know what matchup I really like, though? I know we're all talking, we don't expect a whole lot from the offense tonight, but I do like this matchup. I do like the Broncos pass rush against the Kansas City Chiefs offensive line. Because at the two tackle positions, the Chiefs aren't all that strong. They struggled in the first week.
Right. Is there an offensive line that you would say is going to perform well against this Broncos pass rush?
And you know what else is funny about that? Every week we talk about a different team, who the Broncos are playing. And before the season, we here on this show went around the NFL and talked about the strengths and weaknesses of every single team. It seems to me, Chad, and I don't remember this historically, my institutional memory isn't serving me well here, but it seems that there are more teams with offensive line problems this year than I can ever remember. San Diego Chargers, problems on the offensive line. Chiefs, problems on the offensive line. Every team in the AFC West, including the Broncos, problems on the offensive line. What do you think's going on here?
Okay, here's the deal.
When you were with Seattle,
problems
on the offensive line.
Offensive line is not a position where guys come out of college and they're ready to play in the NFL. It's a position that requires a couple of years of apprenticeship a lot of times for guys to break into the starting lineup and to become good. So you got the pulls of free agency and guys leaving and all those roster changes, so the group doesn't ever actually get the chance to gel together for a long period of time. And then you also have the fact that the OTAs are much shorter now, the ability for coaches to spend time with players in the offseason, all that is limited now. So those young offensive linemen who come in from college don't get the same training that they got 10 years ago when I was playing.
And they're being thrown right into the fire because they're getting paid a lot of money.
Right, so there's a couple of different factors that have led to this, what I see is a big decline in offensive line play, particularly in pass blocking.
You know, and to be fair, I told you I like the Broncos' defense and their pass rush against the Chiefs' offensive line. You could say the same thing. You could say the same thing about the Chiefs' pass rush versus the Broncos' offensive line.
Right. Justin Houston, 20-plus sacks last year. Tom Ali's been doing it for years. Dontari Poe makes a lot of pressure from that nose guard position.
Derek Johnson.
So there's some players over there on that KC defense.
Yeah. Give me two key matchups in this game. I know I just mentioned a couple, but give me two individual matchups that you're interested in watching closely.
Kelsey, the tight end for the Chiefs, and TJ Ward. TJ Ward is an in-the-box safety. He is not a coverage safety. So at some point, Andy Reid and Eric Bieniemy and those play callers from Kansas City are going to find a way to isolate TJ Ward on Kelsey, and Kelsey will win.
Wait a second. So if I think we're all in agreement, TJ Ward is not a good cover safety. We saw it last year. He just wasn't very good at it. All right. David Bruton seemed to be pretty good at it. Now, he's going to be playing despite a sore hip. He will be playing, and he did a pretty good job covering running backs and tight ends last week out of Baltimore's backfield. What about Danny Trevathan and Brandon Marshall? I know they're probably going to be spying Jamal Charles a little bit, but what about the other guy? If one's spying Jamal Charles, what about the other guy handling Kelsey in pass coverage? They're both very, very fast linebackers. And Brandon Marshall was good at it last week.
They are, and I think they would probably do a better job than TJ would on Kelsey on the intermediate routes. But again, Andy Reid is experienced enough of a play caller. He is going to create situations where he gets the matchup that he wants. A lot of times, Kansas City will put multiple tight ends on the field, not to run the ball, but to throw the ball and then to create those matchups that they're looking for. And we're going to see that again tonight.
I know Justin Houston had 20-plus sacks last year, came close to breaking the league record. I know he got a huge contract in the offseason. How good is he? He's
legit. He is a guy who sets the edge. He gets after the quarterback. He's a hard work guy. He's an effort guy. He is their Von Miller. He's that same type of player. Fantastic against the run, fantastic against the pass. Although I think he's a better coverage guy than Vaughn. Vaughn usually gets after the quarterback. So does Justin.
Yeah, Vaughn. Yeah, we don't want Vaughn coverage.
But Justin can actually cover as well.